Welcome back to day 30 of the daily Proverb challenge. Today we're in Proverb 30, chapter 30 of Proverbs. Let's dive in. Sayings of Agur. The sayings of Agur, son of Jacob, an inspired utterance. This man's utterance to Ithiel. I am weary, God, but I can prevail. Surely I am only a brute, not a man. I do not have human understanding. I have not learned wisdom, nor have I attained to the knowledge of the Holy One, who has gone up to heaven and come down, whose hands have gathered up the wind, who has wrapped up the waters in a cloak, who has established all the ends of the earth. What is his name, and what is the name of his son? Surely you know. Every word of God is flawless. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Do not add to his words, or he will rebuke you and prove you a liar. Two things I ask of you, Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you and say, who is the Lord? Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God. Do not slander a servant to their master, or they will curse you, and you will pay for it. There are those who curse their fathers and do not bless their mothers, those who are pure in their own eyes, and yet are not cleansed of their filth, those whose eyes are ever so haughty, whose glances are so disdainful, those whose teeth are swords, and whose jaws are set with knives to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among mankind. The leech has two daughters. Give, give, they cry. There are three things that are never satisfied, four that never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, land, which is never satisfied with water, and fire, which never says enough. The eye that mocks a father, that scorns an aged mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. There are three things that are too amazing for me, four that I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a young woman. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I've done nothing wrong. Under three things the earth trembles, under four it cannot bear up. A servant who becomes king, a godless fool who gets plenty to eat, a contemptible woman who gets married, and a servant who displaces her mistress. Four things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes are creatures of little power, yet they make their home in the crags. Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. A lizard can be caught with the hand, yet it is found in kings' palaces. There are three things that are stately in their stride, four that move with stately bearing, a lion, mighty among beasts, who retreats before nothing, a strutting rooster, a he-goat, and a king secure against revolt. If you play the fool and exalt yourself, or if you plan evil, clap your hands over your mouth. For the churning cream produces butter, and the twisting the nose produces blood. So stirring up anger produces strife. All right. So this last one was fairly visually graphic. And I love how it talks about turning the nose produces blood in the same way that stirring up anger produces strife. And so this had me thinking of how a lot of times people spend time jesting with each other, especially close friends, or even within the family, and not recognizing or realizing how much pain or anger they're actually causing with little pokes and little jokes over time, and that's actually going to be producing something you don't want, which is strife and stress between the two of you. So that's one note that stuck out. There was another earlier on in verse 4 was, who has gone up to heaven and come down, whose hands gathered up the wind, who has wrapped up the waters in a cloak, who has established all the ends of the earth. What is his name, and what is the name of his son? Surely you know. And this, to me, is, now remember, this is a long time before Christ came, but even here in Proverbs, I believe this is a reference to God and Jesus, and their expectation of Christ to come, and that surely you know his name. And if you don't, then I recommend you talk to someone who does. And I encourage you to consider Jesus. But with that being said, if there was anything I missed or anything that you thought was important, leave a message in the comments, like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube-y stuff. And I will see you tomorrow for the last of the Proverbs.